In this video, I'm ranking my top 3 prop firms that I'm currently trading with, and I've actually had payouts with them as well. And I'll also do a summary of their pros and cons. So if you're thinking about what prop firm to trade with, this video might help. I've traded with a number of prop firms now, and I've had my fair share of bad experiences. I've gone and scammed before, so just make sure that if you're going to buy any challenges that you just do your own research before buying anything. So it was a bit of a hard pick, but number 3 on my list has to be 5%ers. So there's a couple things that I really like about 5%ers. I think the main one is they're very well established. So they started in 2016 and they've been in the industry for about 8 years. So similar to FTMO, they have a fairly long track record, which means that there's probably less chances they're going to shut down or not pay you out. Sometimes when you trade with these newer prop firms, you just don't know how sustainable they will be and if they're going to be around in a year's time. So 5%ers has pretty good Trustpilot reviews, 4.9 stars with over 8,700 reviews. They have fast and reliable payouts every 14 days. On their 2-phase challenge, their trading rules are fair and pretty flexible. They also refund the challenge fee with their first payout. Other prop firms like E8 Markets and MyFundedFX don't refund their challenge fees. So they have good customer support. They have live chat, FAQs, email support, and they're also quite trader focused with one-on-one performance coaching, free webinars, and educational content. So they offer 3 different funding programs to cater for different types of traders. The high stakes program is their standard 2-phase challenge. It has an 8% profit target in phase 1. The cost of the 100k challenge is also cheaper than FTMO. So it's only $495, whereas with FTMO it's $540. Their bootcamp program is their 3-phase program, and it's designed for traders that are just sort of getting started and want to get their feet wet. So the great thing about this program is you pay a low upfront entry fee to take the challenge, and only when you pass the challenge, you pay the rest. So for example, if you're taking a 100k challenge, you only need to put down $95, and if you fail the challenge, that's all you have to pay, $95. It's pretty cheap compared to other prop firms. They also have their hypergrowth program, which is their version of an instant funding program, where you don't have to take any challenge, you receive instant funding immediately. So I don't want to make this video like 2 hours long, so I'm not going to go through every single detail. But if you want a detailed review of 5%ers, you can check out my 5%ers video. I cover all of this in a lot more detail there. So I can't just talk about the really good things, I also have to talk about their cons. There's a couple things that I don't really like about 5%ers. The first one is they do limit how many accounts you can have for the high stakes 2-phase challenge. So you can only have 3 accounts at any given time. So one 5k account, 12k account, or one of either 60k or 100k, which means in total for the 2-phase challenge, you can only have a max of 125k of capital. This is significantly lower than other prop firms. They usually offer 400k or more. However, you can trade this account alongside their other funding programs. So for example, their bootcamp program or the instant funding program. So another con with me with the 2-phase challenge program is there's 3 minimum profitable days of 0.5% of the initial account balance. So for example, on a 100k challenge, you need to achieve 3 days of $500 or more. The other issue as well is with the bootcamp and hypergrowth program, it has a fairly low leverage, and with the bootcamp program, there's a mandatory stop loss rule, and there's also a max of 2% risk per trade. Okay, so number 2 on my list would have to be Funded Next. So there's a couple things that I like about Funded Next. The first one is they have fairly reliable payouts. I've had payouts with Funded Next without having any issues. So they have a unique 24-hour payout guarantee. If their payouts aren't processed within 24 hours, they offer an additional $1,000. I don't think any other prop firm offers this, so it's quite unique. And I've always received my payouts within 24 hours. They have a pretty good Trustpilot rating with 4.5 stars and over 22,000 reviews. Although, just a disclaimer, it is Trustpilot, so I would take this as a grain of salt. Another great thing is they have 4 different challenge types to cater for different traders. They have Stellar, Stellar Light, Express and Evaluation. So I recently did a review of FundedNext and I explained all of the different challenge types here in detail. You can click on the link on screen to check that out. Another cool thing with FundedNext is they have a profit share during the challenge. So traders can earn 15% profit share during the challenge phase, provided though you have to grow your funded account by 5%. They have decent trading conditions. They have low commissions with $3 per lot on Forex and commodities and $0 for indices and cryptos. And they have pretty good customer support, so 24/7. Their live chat is always available around the clock, making it pretty easy if you have any questions or you need any help. So in terms of cons, there's a few things I don't like about FundedNext. The first one is their challenges is on the slightly pricier side compared to other prop firms. The Stellar Lite is a great option if you're looking for a cheaper challenge. However, it does come with stricter drawdown limits, so 4% daily and 8% overall, and there's high commissions. So the commissions double to almost $7 per lot, so it's pretty high. So another thing that I'm not really sure about is the evaluation program. So for the evaluation program, it's harder to pass with a 10% profit target in phase 1. And they have a time limit. So it doesn't really offer that much advantage over their Stellar two-phase challenge. So yeah, make sure if you're thinking of doing the evaluation program, I would probably say do the Stellar two-phase challenge instead. Okay, so the number 1 spot on my prop firm list would have to go to FTMO. So in terms of pros, there's a few things that I really like about FTMO. The first one is they're really well established. So FTMO is one of the most well-known and trusted prop firms. They've been operating since 2015 with a really good track record. I'd say they're kind of like the gold standard when it comes to prop firms. They have reliable payouts. So every payout that I've requested, I've always been paid out without any issues. To add to this, they have a pretty good Trustpilot score. There's 4.8 stars with over 15,700 reviews. From my personal experience, I've noticed that they have pretty good trading conditions. So they offer fairly tight spreads, low slippage, and their commission rates are pretty low as well. They also refund your challenge fee with your first payout. So when you complete the challenge and verification phases, your initial challenge fee is refunded with your first payout. Another thing that I have to say about FTMO is around their customer support. So their customer support, it hands down has to be probably one of the best that I've experienced. They're always super fast, super helpful, and they're available 24/7. So if you have any issues, you can get that sorted right away with their customer support. And yeah, it's just all around really good. So in terms of cons for FTMO, there's a few things I'm not a huge fan of. So the first thing is their challenge fees are really expensive. So FTMO challenge fees are probably one of the highest in the industry. But then again, you kind of pay for what you get when it comes to FTMO. You're paying a lot more, but I would say there's a lot more reliability that you'll get paid out. Another con with FTMO is you have to close your positions just before market close for the weekend, or if the rollover is longer than 2 hours. They're also quite strict with news trading, so you got to be really careful if you're trading around high impact news. The other thing with FTMO is kind of an unspoken rule, but when you get funded with FTMO, if you're risking too much per trade, they may actually send you a warning email and ask you to reduce your risk. You can't risk too much with their funded account, so you just have to be careful with that. So if you're thinking of taking a challenge with FTMO, this video here might be helpful. I cover everything that you might need to know before taking the challenge, including all of the rules. If you have any other questions, leave a comment below and I'll try my best to get back to you. Make sure you like and subscribe, and thanks again for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.